We're live. It says we're live.
What's up, you guys? We are live. Yo, we are live on a lot of places right now. So we just want to give a shout out to every daggone place that we're on. First of all, huge shout out. Adana the PA in the building.
Welcome to Adana the PA, you guys.
Yeah, and it's Adana the PA husband. I got to start my own channel.
You have several channels.
I mean, Adana the PA husband channel.
Oh, the Adana the PA husband
channel?
Yeah,
Adana the PAs know me as your husband, so Adana the PA husband channel.
It could just be Aunt, you know.
Aunt and Adana. You guys, what's up, man? It's been a minute, yo. We haven't seen y'all together
together
in a long, long time. So we appreciate you guys, man. We love you guys. And we're excited, man. We're going to have some conversations about relationship tips from your boy and your girl.
Please, sir.
From your boy and your girl. What up, James?
Hey, James.
Shout out.
No talk.
Shout out to Florida, James. What up, my man? And Paul. What's up, Paul?
Hartford. Nice.
So you guys, we're gonna have a great conversation, you guys. Relationship tips. We're gonna actually go through right here. Let me even show you guys. So I have on this screen, snap. I have 13, can't see it. I have 13 tips on how to have a healthy and good relationship. We're gonna go through them. All right, we're gonna go through these tips to see if they really actually good tips or if they just some fluff, like some trap. Like, do these tips really work in real life, in a real relationship? With real black people too, because I know the black relationships is a little bit different than the white relationships and the Hispanic ones and the Asian ones. So we're gonna take a look. But also we want to invite you guys too, man. If anybody wants to hop on here with us, man, let me know and I will send you a personal link. All you do is click that link and you can actually pop on here with us and ask your question live with us on the air right now, or you can just drop a question into the comment section too. So either way, it's all good. We're here to address you guys' questions because we're not pros. We just love a lot.
Guys, he's been saying this thing for the longest. Loves that tagline.
That is our tagline, y'all. If we're considering starting a relationship thing, you know. So if you guys would like to see that, let us know, because we're considering starting this relationship thing on a consistent basis where we get on here and chat it up. But my tagline is, we're not pros, we just love a lot. You know, so because we ain't pros. You know, I ain't go to school for relationship, but I just love a lot.
Okay, you know? We get it.
So you guys, we're here for your questions, man. We're gonna have a good old time real quick. So you guys, with that being said, one thing that I do want to say is I want to shout out once again Adana the PA. If you are watching from Adana the PA, please go ahead and subscribe. You know,
go ahead and hit that like button too.
Hit it up.
You know, it all helps the YouTube algorithm out a lot.
Yeah, do it right now. Like, we're gonna stop. We're gonna wait 7 seconds. You better freaking hit that subscribe and like button. So go ahead and do that for Adana, you guys. And we'll be back to her regular scheduled program next week. This is a little something different for her channel, but it is
on
good.
Tuesday we do things Sundays and Tuesdays.
Sundays and Tuesdays. Yes. Well, at the same time, you know, this is very good for those who are in PA school or looking to get into PA school, or even, you know, people fresh out of PA school who are just in relationships, long distance relationships.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. You know,
we did that too. We did long distance while in undergrad, but
even in PA school for a little period of time, for a short period of time.
Really tiny.
It was tiny.
Super short period of time.
But it hurt every waking hour.
That's just because I wasn't cooking 3 square meals. That's not what I was cooking.
That's a piece of it, but that's not the whole.
Have me to cook.
That's not the whole piece of the puzzle. Anyway, so we're gonna jump off with looking at these 13 tips on relationships. But while we do that, you guys, once again, if you have a question, a relationship question, type that bad boy in the comment section. Whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, just go ahead and type that in right now so that we can get to your question and answer your question, because we got some advice, we got some opinions. They may not always be right, and sometimes her opinion and my opinion is totally different.
Completely on 2 different spectrums.
Totally. But sometimes we like this, like peanut butter and jelly, or like Nutella and...
No, Nutella.
I'm Nutella. Like Nutella and what's like peanut butter.
Yeah.
Like caramel. Like a light peanut butter. Like a...
Like an almond butter.
No, you ain't almond. Well, you're kind of almond today. Anyway, all right. So, you guys, let's get this party started. So, any questions? Let us know. If you want to join the conversation and actually be on with us, let me know. I'll drop you guys a link to the thing. But here's the first tip, you guys. This is the first relationship tip. This is from a website called mindbodygreen.com. They've given us 13 tips on how to have a good, healthy relationship. And Don and I's job right now is to determine if these tips is accurate. So hopefully this helps you guys out and maybe even help us out too. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. Here we go. Tip number 1. Do the things you did the first year you were dating. Tip number 1. Do the things you did the first year you were dating. So the first year we were dating. Okay, not married. All right.
Yeah.
So the first year
I don't know. This is completely, to me, we have to like separate things because like you can't do the things you were doing the first year you were dating when you married with kids.
Why not?
Because they put a damper in that. Like there's
that doesn't mean you can't. That's the point. That's why it's saying do those things because you're saying don't let your kid, don't let married life get in the way. You can still have a life and do the same thing.
So what were the things that we were doing?
Our first year we were dating.
We were flying places.
We
was jet setting.
we wasn't flying like that.
Yes, no. We was off in California. We were in Florida.
And we was taking the bus too. We was taking the the DC to New York bus, the DC to Connecticut,
the Chinatown buses.
The China buses.
Yeah, the Chinatown buses.
We ain't taking Chinatown. I ain't taking Chinatown buses
in a minute. Yeah.
But I mean, for us, I don't know what y'all was doing the first year you was dating, but nothing really changed much. Like, it's not like we was rich and famous and we was doing things we couldn't do now. Like, we was doing basic stuff, like going bowling and freaking, we wasn't doing nothing that extravagant to say that.
Yeah, we were long distance as well. So it was a matter of like just trying, like every time we got a chance to spend time with each other, we just did something.
Maybe this is referring to things like maybe you guys were praying together in the beginning, or maybe you guys were actually holding hands in public and stuff like that. Because no. Hey, I just got Adana. Look, Adana will be walking in public, right? She don't want to be holding my hand.
That is a complete lie.
You know that's not because look at this. This is how true it is. This is how true it is. Our daughter, Amira, look, she's trying to let go now because she's getting upset. She getting upset. What's up? You don't want to hold my hand on her?
Because you straight up lying.
Did Amira just recently try to get us to hold hands walking in public? Yes or no?
She asked us to kiss. She said kiss on the lips.
She always says
kiss on the lips.
She always wants to kiss on the lips. But she wanted us to hold hands too.
Anthony, will you hold?
I walked up and I tried to slide my hand in, and she'll let it go for a second, but then she always tried to slide out.
No,
babe, what's
because
up?
after a while, like the knuckles start to hurt. Like, Aunt was like, first off, I'm not trying to hold your hand like this, like we're kids. You know, like you're my dad.
So what's the proper way of holding hands?
So this is the proper way to hold hands as a loving couple.
So you can't do this.
But
sometimes I go like this, and then
I know, and it's like,
slide.
But then you're like you're like pulling me along, like we're like I'm 3. So I don't want that. So we hold like this, which is fine. But then after a while, like Aunt's knuckles be like squeezing my fingers. I'm like, my little fingertips be turning blue. I'm like, can you?
No, that was what she said. That's what she said. She was like, "Oh, I want to let go." I was like, "Why are you trying to let go?" Because my fingers are turning blue.
They were like losing circulation.
That's when you know someone just don't want to hold your hand. If you don't say some mess like my fingertips turning blue, you could have just said, "Like, babe, can you loosen up a little or something?"
They were losing circulation, so I needed some time. So
get the freak out of here.
But I think also, like, you know, what happens is like sometimes people like they actually go out and go on dates. You know, like when they're first together, and then when you get married or you like have been in a relationship for a long time, you don't really date your partner anymore. True. So that might be another thing that they're talking about.
James said, what if they were both unsaved in their first year of dating and they did was run around beating
Okay, well, I mean,
you know, if that's not the life you try to live, which first of all we support that. Don't try to live that life. But if that's not the life you're trying to live, then yeah, absolutely, you ain't trying to do that. You ain't trying to do that.
I mean,
you ain't trying to go back. You don't want to revert to your first year if your first year was doing
to
such
any
shit
bad
you did.
any bad habits that you may have had in your first year of dating. Like
Absolutely.
if you overcome that, then sure. Like obviously don't do that. So
For
I
sure.
mean that's yeah.
For sure.
All right.
I think you said I am Celine from Brazil. What up, Brazil?
Nice. Brazil in the house.
Shout out to Brazil. Tossin.
Thank you for doing this, Adina. Oh, you're welcome, Tosin.
Hope this helps. Y'all.
Hey.
All right. Bet. So we're gonna go number 2, you guys. So first of all, do the things you did the first year you were dating. It depends on what you were doing. That's
Okay.
tip number 1, depends on what you were doing. Tip number 2. Do we agree with this? It says ask for what you want. To have a good and healthy relationship, it says ask for what you want. Do you agree with that?
I mean, yes, I think that it's important to not like beat around the bush and like be, like don't, because I think a lot of times like some people are like, oh yeah, no, it's okay, we can do this or whatever, and that's not really what they want to do, or that's not really what they want in life, and you just go along with it, and in terms of that you kind of settle sometimes, and then in the future I think it would just be a complete disaster when like there's nothing else in that foundation, so you're just like, okay, I'm upset and I'm angry because I've been compromising and settling this whole time. So I think it's important to just be honest and ask for whatever it is that you want, like ahead of time.
So here's my predicament with that one, okay?
Here we
Once
go.
you get into married life, all right, ask what you want. So all right, so here's something that happens. Here's something that happens. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Let me tell you what happens. Okay. So when it comes to food in our house, okay. Now it says ask what you want. So here's my predicament. You guys, fellas, listen to me. I stopped asking for what I want directly, right? Let me tell you why.
You never ask for what you want directly.
No. Let me talk to you guys, okay? So this is what happens, right? I'll ask, babe, can you make some rice cereal? All right, let's say that, because I love rice cereal. So here's the problem: when you ask for what you want, when you're dealing with, let me not say woman, when you're dealing with y'all, sometimes you don't really know exactly how y'all feeling at that moment or that day. So I may ask for rice cereal, and one day you like, oh, babe, babe, can I have some rice cereal? Sure, babe, yeah, I got you. The next day, babe, can I have some rice cereal? Can't you make your own? What's wrong with you? Hey, babe, hold on. Can I have some rice cereal? Oh my gosh, my God. Like, it's never like a consistent, like, beautiful answer. It's always shaky. And I don't want to hear the shake. I don't want to ask the question, be like, can I have some rice cereal?
Here's the thing.
What's wrong?
Here's the thing. This is what Aunt
I
does,
beat around the bush.
And first and foremost, Anthony does not know how to cook.
No.
So I'm the one that's doing all of the cooking in the house. Okay. So that's the first and foremost thing. So yes, there may be times when it's like, nah, nigga, like I'm not trying to make some rice cereal right now. I literally just spent like half of my day making breakfast and lunch for y'all. Like,
I respect that.
And he be coming at like 10 o'clock at night talking about, it's 10 o'clock at night, can I make some rice cereal? Like,
I'm hungry.
No, bro. Like you gotta figure something else out. So yes, there are times when I'm like that. However, this is what times. No, you don't.
No.
But this is what Aunt will do. Aunt will be like, so babe, like, you hungry? Like, what y'all eat today? Did y'all eat already?
Why am I doing that?
So you was gonna go make some eggs. You were gonna make, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
And then she'll say, just ask for what you want, right? No, because then I ask for what I want, and then I get an attitude. I get an Adonitude. That's what I call it. Not an attitude, an Adonitude. It come right this way because I asked for what I want. Can I have some rice cereal? Can I have some eggs? Can I have this or that? And then sometimes, not every time, but sometimes you get the tood out, and I'm not trying to hear the tood, so I slide in real smooth, like, hey, did you grab?
And that annoys the mess out of me because I'm like, look, like just ask me. Like, if you want some eggs, you want me to make some eggs, just ask me. Like, yes, maybe I may not be able to do it right at this moment because I'm doing something, but at least like you're just upfront about it instead of coming like, oh, you hungry?
Look, so the tip number 2, ask for what you want. So first of all,
do that.
the general concept of communicating clearly, I agree with. Ask for what you want, yeah, but sometimes you just have to be creative in how you ask for what you want. You may not always be able to be direct. Sometimes you may have to do a little maneuvering.
No, but if you see that your partner is not feeling that, like, stop doing that, okay? Like, not feeling your smooth whatever it is that you just called beating around the bush.
All right. Well, tip number 2 is sometimes, you guys. All right, we get going. If you're just now joining us, we're just going through some relationship tips from a website called mindbodygreen.com, and we're giving our opinion on if these relationship tips are actually true in real life, real couples. And also, you guys, we're leaving it open for you guys. If you have a relationship question you want to ask us, please let us know. We've been married for over 10 years.
How many years we've been married?
Over 10.
No, like what's the exact?
Over.
He keeps trying to think. How many years have we been married?
Over 10.
His fingers are like this right now, you guys, counting.
Over 10 years. 2 kids. Arguments, love, laughter, joy, pain. I mean, we've been through it all, you guys. So we're glad to share our advice and tips. First of all, I want to shout out Hard in the Paint. He said, y'all been my favorite couple since 2017. Hey,
we've been on YouTube since then? Man.
I've been on YouTube a lot longer than 2017.
I said we. He didn't say you've been his favorite couple. He said we been the favorite couple.
I'm just saying, like,
so I'm trying to remember.
It don't matter whoever you know us from, we appreciate that.
Thank
2017. You. That's love. That's love. Appreciate that. Hey, if you said asking, hey, Lift. Sorry. Is that it? If. Asking your partner what they ate that day when what you really want to ask is, can you make me something to eat? I don't think that's what point 2 meant.
Thank you.
Look,
Thank you.
I don't think you're right. I think you're right. All right. But at the same time, but I would agree with that, though. Sometimes you got to be creative. In my opinion, you got to be creative. That's all I'm saying. All right, we're about to go to the next tip. What up, Mike? Hey, what's up, Mike?
What's up?
All right, so here we go, you guys. We back at it. Tip number 3. Here we go. Become an expert on your partner. Relationship tip. How to have a good and healthy relationship. Tip number 3 says, become an expert on your partner. Do you agree with that? Yes or no? Let me start. First of all, there is no such thing as being an expert on your partner.
I think we're constantly changing.
It is an impossibility. I disagree with this statement. It is an impossibility to be an expert on your partner, you guys. You cannot be an expert on your partner. First, maybe I'm wrong. Let's find out what the definition of expert is real quick.
And what does let's see they have a little bit of writing in there. Like,
forget the writing. I want to know, what is expert? Let's look up. I'm about to look up dictionary.com. But what is your thoughts on being an expert on your partner?
I mean, I think in theory, it's a good thought to actually know your partner as well as you can possibly can. You're studying this partner, that kind of thing. But do I think that it's a possibility for you to actually become an expert on your partner? No, because I feel like we're consistently changing, like we're growing. Us as human beings, we're not static in nature. So I don't think that you'll ever really become an expert.
Okay. So here's the definition of expert. All right. Maybe this will help change. This will change our minds a little bit. So the definition of expert is a person who has special skill or knowledge in some particular field. It also says possessing special skill or knowledge, trained or practiced. So from that definition,
I guess you can.
From the definition of a person who has a special skill or knowledge in some particular field, should you have a special skill or knowledge in your partner?
For sure. You should be able to know how to handle your partner, speak to your partner. You have special knowledge about your partner that lots of people don't have because you have the inside scoop. So from that definition, then yeah.
I still disagree with the dang statement. An expert, when you think of an expert, it's more than just a special skill or knowledge. First of all, it's had nothing to do with skill, right? So it's a person who has knowledge about your spouse. Of course. everyone has knowledge about your partner. For me, that's a basic.
But special in that, like, you
It don't say
know
special knowledge. It says
specific
special
things.
skill or knowledge in some particular field.
Yeah, you could use the distributive property, like special
Don't
skill
do
or
that.
special knowledge.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what a distributive property is. Stop doing this thing. She always be coming with these words, this vocabulary. I don't know what that means. Anyway, look.
I think that if we're going off of the definition of what an expert is, like if you're an expert in the field of this, so you're an expert in your partner, then knowing your partner like inside and out and continues, like experts, they study the field that they're in like on a consistent basis, right? And so they stay up to date on all of the best and newest information. So then I think that that's actually an accurate statement. I changed my mind. Yeah, you can become an expert in your partner.
I don't. I feel like you cannot be an expert in your spouse. You can learn as much as you want all the time. Here's the thing. Maybe this is thank you, Father. I got it.
Oh God.
Yo, this is why this is wrong, okay? When you're studying something, right? That thing you're studying, typically, what you're becoming expert in, doesn't really change, right?
Not necessarily.
Like your spouse changes by the millisecond sometimes.
No, you can be an expert in the field of molecular genetics, and molecular genetics is continuously changing. Like these fields, new information is being made, new information is being found, like, but yet you're staying up to date on all of the new like studies and things like that. So no, I don't agree with that.
I am in the middle now. You've taken me from here to here now. Okay. I'm gonna stay here. Let's move on.
Yeah, I got some questions on the PA.
They're all right here.
Wait, no, I don't see. Oh, there. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Questions are here.
I didn't realize. I didn't see it. Hey. All right, so let's start with
what are you trying to
Ashley is, I think, the first one that I see.
All right.
So Ashley says, what advice do you have to keep your marriage strong during PA school? Do you have any advice?
I got advice, but she asking you.
Well, she's asking us as a couple.
She asked Ashley, ain't you asking the Donna the PA? You ain't asking the husband.
Us as a couple. I feel like advice for keeping your marriage strong in PA school is communication and spending time together, right? I think that is like the main thing. You have to actually like kind of source out some time to spend with your spouse and your partner, because, you know, like in PA school, you're studying really, really hard. A lot of your time, like more than 8 hours of your day is dedicated to studying. So you have to give time to your partner. And she's asking both of us.
All right, cool. All right. Well, look, I think for me, specifically to keep your marriage strong during PA school, I think it's important for you both to understand that what you're getting into, right? So if you both understand going into PA school, knowing that there's going to be significant sacrifice, then you're not going to be surprised when that sacrifice has to happen. You know, like you ain't going to have the same amount of time to be able to spend together. You're not going to be able to do the same things that you were doing before PA school. You're not going to go to the same places. You're going to have different conversations. She going to come home from PA school talking about a mannequin that she dissected or some crap, and you gonna be like, what the freak? And you ain't gonna know.
You never dissect Sim Man, okay?
Sim Man, yeah, I remember Sim Man. Sim Man was his name. Sim Man. She came home talking about Sim Man. I was like, who the freak is Sim Man, and why are you touching on him? And she had to explain that Sim Man was the simulation man or whatever. So you have different conversations. I think if you both go into PA school understanding that things are going to be different and there's going to be significant sacrifice for the next 2 to 3 years, you'll be fine, because you'll both have to adjust. It's a must. It's a must-have. So that's just one piece of the puzzle. I think we can do a whole different YouTube discussion on this one topic. So we'll keep that on the side burner. Ashley, we'll come back to that and probably maybe do another YouTube. We'll do maybe a YouTube video on tips, 5 to 10 tips on how to keep your marriage stronger in PA school. But those are some of them. Good question. All right. Oops. Oh, snap.
Oh, look at that.
Snap. Ooh.
Y'all, we just like zoomed in on ourselves.
All right, next one. Here we go. Mariana G. First of all, I love your name. That's dope. I hope I said it right. I don't know if it's Spanish or not because I said Mariana. Like that
you
sounds.
Did. You put a little.
Yeah, a little twang on it. Mariana G. That's a good name. What's your name, Mariana G? Anyway, how do you keep excitement and joy after many years together? In other words, how do you avoid falling into monotony?
Okay.
Big word. I almost didn't know how to say that. All right. How do you keep excitement and joy after years of being together? So you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I mean, you can go first. That's fine.
So for me, it's so different. There's no cookie cutter answer because personalities are so varied in the world. It's easier for some people to keep joy and excitement after many years because of their personalities. It's easier. I think for us, our personalities lend to it being easier. Joy has never left our life. Because even in hard times and rough times, there's been times we haven't been happy. There's been times we haven't been excited, but we've always had joy because for us, our joy comes from God. And I think our connection with God and our relationship with God is one thing that kept our joy. It just like it's
solid.
We've always had joy, even in really bad hard times. We've always been able to find joy. So with that being said, though, it depends on your individual personalities. And so what I would say is this. I would say to be able to keep that excitement and joy is to tap into each other. Make sure you guys are communicating and find out what it is that you guys find exciting, what you guys enjoy doing. Find the things that you guys enjoy and make sure that you never stop doing it.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. And find new creative things. If you're not a creative person, then just Google the mess, okay? If you or your spouse is not the person to be, oh snap, let's just hop on a boat and go cruise across the bay. Just some sporadic fun stuff. If you ain't that person, fine, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Just freaking go on Google and type up what the freak can we do in my city that's cool and do it. So it's a matter of, last piece, it's just a matter of intent. You have to be intentional and really really be intentional on what it is that you want to do and actually do it. Because if you don't do it, it's just going to keep dying.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that you said it all. I was going to say the same thing, is just do the things that give you excitement and bring you joy. So I think a lot of times it's just about, as you said, being intentional and doing it so that you don't fall into the monotony of everyday life.
Bet. There we go. All right. Another question. We got Jiron presents Men of God, blah, 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 blah. Shout out to that. Did God bring you two together for marriage? Yes. 100%. If he didn't, we wouldn't be married.
Yeah, I think we would.
But how do we know that? Here's the question.
Done.
How do we know that? Here's the question for that one. I mean, the answer to that one, right? So yes, obviously, for me, it's an obvious question. But how do we know that? I know that it was God that brought us together for marriage because we were both seeking God before we got each other.
Yeah, first.
Sometimes, unfortunately, and it's unfortunate, but sometimes there are marriages that happen that, and mind you, this conversation is for all of those out there who are believers in God and have that relationship. If that's not you, just bear with us as we get through this real quick, but you might find something interesting from it. But if you are not individually seeking God before you guys decide to get married, then sometimes those relationships, those marriages happen, and you find out that maybe it was not God that brought you two together. Why? Because you weren't seeking him first. So we know for sure it was God because we were seeking him first. As long as you're seeking God before you get into that marriage, I personally believe that it's God that brought you together, even if within that marriage, there's turmoil and problems and issues. Why? Because every marriage isn't perfect and we're human and we do change. That doesn't mean God didn't bring you together. It just means that there's things that you have to deal with within your marriage. So as long as you're seeking God before you get married individually, I believe God put you together.
Yeah, we weren't even looking for a relationship when we got together.
I mean, when I saw,
Aunt was
I was just
it was just friendship at first. So
I wasn't looking.
it
Wait,
was
wait,
me
wait.
and
You're telling
God.
me
It was me and God. I was trying to just be on the up and up with my Lord and Savior. So I don't know, but what, I thought you weren't looking for a
I
relationship.
wasn't looking for a relationship. I was looking for you.
Oh gosh, bully.
You know,
This guy, y'all. Oh my goodness.
Ashley said thanks for the advice. Appreciate it, Ashley. You're welcome.
Oh, she looks forward to the video. So now that means you have to be on my channel again.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Maria G, yes, Spanish sounds good. Thank you. Thank you. Whoops. What was this? Good evening, gentlemen. How often do you get poo stuck in your beard? Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Here we go. It says, you had said that you were in a long distance relationship. How did you handle the times when you were apart? What'd you guys do to make it interesting? Fade.
I mean, we were like, I've always been like super like schedule-y in terms of like when I have studying and things like that. So we were both in undergrad. And so we scheduled out like times to talk, right? So, we'd text and talk to each other throughout the day, but we knew like every day at like 9 o'clock around that time we would talk. And we gave ourselves about an hour or so because I like to be in bed like pretty early to wake up early to study. So we would talk about our days. We talk about everything just to continue to understand like and learn each other and get that connection through just having that conversation. Because obviously we weren't able to see like physically each other and touch each other like just like touch each other.
What you talking?
Not like touching each other.
What you talking about?
Not like touching each other, but touch each other physically. And then in the times that we were able to spend with each other, because obviously we'd have like vacations like for Christmas break and Thanksgiving break and things like that. I would fly out or he'd fly out and we'd see each other and spend time with each other there. Making it interesting, I think it was just a matter of like any time that we got to spend with each other.
I'm an interesting person. That's how.
Okay, and thank you, sir.
I'm an interesting
But
man.
this is it, right? It's always laughter. It's always like light and fun. And so that made it interesting. Obviously on the phone, like we would ask like stupid questions. Like I never asked if you got poo stuck in your beard, but I'd be like, oh, like what kind of toilet paper do you use? Like how do you squeeze your toothpaste? Because I wanted to know things like that because it was just a matter of getting.
You know what she wanted to know? She wanted to know. Are there any kids in here?
What did I want to know?
Adana wanted to know if when dudes poop, their penis touched the water.
I did want to know that too. And I also wanted to know if like if you guys wipe your like the tip of your penis, like if you like clean it off because
what freaking woman wants to know? Are you kidding me?
Because it's like a little gross.
You
right?
guys, what is wrong with you? That's not a normal. What is that normal?
I think that's a general question.
Is that a normal question women have? Do y'all normally want to know that, or is that just like
so?
Is that just like your medical? Because that sounds more of a medical like question.
I don't know, but I wanted to know because I felt like that's kind of a little grossy. So
okay. So I would say as far as the long distance part of the question, first of all, I would say this: long distance relationships for a short period of time, I think, are amazing. I think they can be very amazing. If you can be in a long distance relationship for a short period of time, that means that all you guys have to do for that period of time is work on communication. It's all you can do, because all you can do is communicate with each other. That's it. Now things are a little different now because when we were in undergrad, there wasn't as much like Zoom and
stuff,
FaceTime and all that stuff. It was just like talking on a dang phone.
And Google Chat and things like that.
Yeah. But with that being said, you're just consistently communicating with each other, and it helps to develop your communication skills. It helps to get to know each other. We talked about being an expert on the person. Well, you can at least get to know each other a lot more when all you can do is really just communicate and talk to each other all the time. So I'm a fan for long distance relationships, but again, for a short period of time. For a long period of time, it can be harder and more difficult to maintain. But how do you handle the times when you're apart? I mean, you know what? Adana answered all that. Adana, that was great. That was my babe answered that question. So I'll leave that at that. Good stuff. Good question. Artsy Birdie, you said, is it a red flag if a guy that calls himself a Christian follows a lot of Instagram models? Wait a minute.
Oh, Artsy.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Artsy.
Hold on. First of all,
let's talk about it, Artsy.
This sounds very personal. This sounds like a very personal question. Is it a red flag? Let's help Artsy out here. Let's help Artsy out.
Legit help Artsy out.
Is it a red flag if a guy that calls himself a Christian follows a lot of Instagram models and girls?
I mean, you the man. Why don't you take this away? Take this away, Christian man of God.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Okay, let me hear that.
First of all, every Christian man is at different walks in his walk. I mean, different places in his walk with God, right? So that Christian man, he's not less of a Christian because he follows Instagram models or girls as much as the next Christian, who the elder in church, who is following church girls. You know, it's just everyone's at different walks. But what I will say is this: I would not say it's a red flag. I would say it's a yellow flag.
Yeah, okay.
I would say it's something that it's a caution, because it lets you know that.
Y'all, he's on it, and I'm like saying you like went into my brain and took out everything that I was thinking. Like yours.
Because we are on one accord.
This is why I married you.
We're not pros. We just love a lot. That's just our thing. Now, but I would say the reason why it's a yellow flag is because even as a Christian, first of all, I would say if he calls himself a Christian, then he does have a relationship with God at some form or fashion. And the thing is that as you have a relationship with God, that relationship hopefully is going to grow. So as his relationship grows, he's going to begin unfollowing people. You know, because to be honest with you, following Instagram models, the Instagram model, an Instagram female, as we define it, is really one that's really about just that. You know, she just showing her body off. It's a very lustful, sexual type of a thing. Not too many Instagram models are on there to teach you different books that are coming out, right? So if he's following them, he's following because they look good, because they dress a certain way, blah, blah, blah. And that's obviously, as you continue to grow in your relationship with God, that's obviously not particularly something that you want to keep following as a Christian man. So it's a yellow flag to be cautious about and see if he has a change, or if there's growth in his walk with God. But if there's no growth, then it becomes a red flag.
Yeah, and I think it's important to also like just ask him, you know, like, I mean, you can open up a conversation and be like, yo, you know, like, why? Even though you may already know why, but like just open up the conversation and be like, yo, like, why you follow all these like Instagram females? And then you can go from there and see what the answer is, and then you guys can actually have a conversation on like if you feel comfortable with it or not, and you know, you open it up to now get an understanding of where you guys stand initially and where you can move going forward.
And sometimes we get caught up, you guys, ladies. Look, sometimes it happens. Like a strong man of God, a strong man of God can get caught up in a second. So it happened to me, you guys. It happened. I got caught up.
Scrolling through big booty.
It wasn't big. No, I wasn't scrolling.
Yes,
No.
It was
I wasn't scrolling.
Wait. It was big booty H's, right?
I wasn't scrolling through big booty H's. I was scrolling through my friends' list.
Of course, it was his friends.
No. My friend list. I won't shout them out. But on his friends list, there was a link. There was a friend he had called Big Booty H's.
Oh,
okay?
And Ant thought he knew that friend, right?
I didn't think I knew Big Booty H's.
Okay, so you just wanted to scroll through Big Booty H's.
I wanted to see if I would see someone I know. Because sometimes you may see someone, and I would want to reach out to them and say, hey, you might not want to be on the Big Booty H's side.
So Ant got caught up, y'all, and I'm like, and how did this Ant? You ain't say nothing. I was like looking for something that I was on the computer for in the past, and I went through the history, and I was like,
You ain't looking on
yes,
history.
I did.
I didn't hide nothing.
It was in the history.
But I wasn't hiding
You
crap.
didn't say nothing. You wasn't like, yo, babe, I saw these big booty H's on Facebook.
That's not a you don't come home after you cook the meal like, hey, yeah, by the way, I was looking at some big booty H's on Facebook. It was a mistake. I had messed up.
Anyways,
I messed up.
So I think it's a normal thing for guys to get caught up. But again,
sometimes.
if they're following a lot of these Instagram accounts, I think you should just open up the conversation to see exactly like why that is and how that will like work in your relationship.
Got you. All right. So hopefully that answered your question, RT. Well, we went off on a tangent.
We did.
All right, you guys. So we got a few more. Oh, snap. Where'd it go? There we go. All right. So we are going to continue on here. We're going to continue on. We still have these relationship tips. Once again, if you just now join us, we're answering your questions for relationships. It can be any sort of question on relationships, as well as we're going through a list of relationship test tips on mindbodygreen.com to determine it from our perspective if we agree with these tips or not. So we're going to keep it going a little bit longer. If you have a question, just type it in the comment section. We'll be glad to answer your question. If not, or if you want to actually pop on here and join us live from wherever you're at, just comment down below, I want to join live, and then we'll send you a link, and then you can pop on here with us and ask a question. So, all right, next one. Here's the next one. Relationship tip. Do we agree with it or not? It says, ask questions beyond just how was your day. We'll get past that.
Okay,
I mean, that's just
keep it moving.
communication. Yes, obviously,
Sure.
You should definitely do that. 5, create a weekly ritual to check in with each other. So let's stop for a second.
So I guess, so this is like dating.
So the question is, remember, these are tips for a good, healthy relationship. It says, create a weekly ritual to check in with each other. Here's my problem with this tip. If you need a weekly ritual to check in with each other, you're way off in your relationship. If you're not checking in with your partner, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend every day.
If you don't want to, like, I mean, like, how do you go through a week and not check in?
Not check in. How was your day? What's
like
your,
we even if it's just a little text message, like, hey, I miss you. Like, what? Like, you are with this person. You want to know what's going on
every day, you guys.
Come on, y'all.
Weekly ritual, and they said ritual like it needs to be something like a witch spell or some crap. It's you just freaking check in with your partner every day, multiple times a day, not some creepy stuff like every 5 seconds, but just creeping it. Like, for example, I'll give you an example, right? Like Adana. So Adana works a 24-hour shift as a PA at the hospital, right? So when she's at work, there's sometimes, it doesn't happen often, but there's actually sometimes where she'll literally leave at 6 o'clock in the morning, and she won't contact me the entire day going into the night. And mind you, I get a little worried because she don't never do that. She'll hit me up, at least shoot me a little text or WhatsApp or something. But like, if she don't contact me all day, I'm like, what's going on? Is she good? I'm thinking about her. If you don't need, this shouldn't even be a tip to check in, a weekly ritual to check in. Check in with your partner all the time. And if you don't have a desire to, we talking about flags.
Yeah, that's a huge red flag if you don't have a desire to.
It is.
If you don't have a desire to check in, like, then why are you guys even together? Like, if you don't even want to know what's going on with your partner,
yeah.
Like,
it's a red flag. Now, let me just say this real fast, because we saw flags. A red flag doesn't always mean it cut stuff or it's in. A red flag just means there's an issue.
That needs to be addressed.
A significant issue that needs to be looked at.
Yeah.
All right. So if there's a red flag, that's something that you need to look at within yourself and or your relationship. All right.
That may lead to a cut.
Or not. Stop being so negative.
If it's a red flag,
negative,
I think it's
Nancy.
to cuts. Or like the yellow flags.
Oh, a red flag doesn't always lead to cuts.
I think they might though.
Anything might. A green flag leads to a cut.
I think a red flag leads to a cut then.
What are you talking about?
Because look, if you don't want to freaking check in on me and know how my day is going. Like,
No,
I'm not trying to be with you.
It doesn't lead to a cut. It leads to a check. Like, check yourself and see what the issue is.
Okay.
Because there's red flags here left and right, but you don't just cut people left
Like,
every
what's
red
another
flag.
red flag that you wouldn't cut somebody for right away?
And there's a lot of red flags
Tell
you're
me
not cutting. Farting on the first date.
That's not a red
That's
flag.
a red flag.
No,
If you as a female, like just a loud, nasty on the
that
first
is
date,
not a red flag.
that's red as crap. If you bold enough to fart on the first date as a female, that's not a
You're
dream. I'm not
comfortable.
looking at you. Yeah, that's
You're
not comfort.
comfortable with that.
That's not comfort. That's not comfort. That's ignorant and stank. That's a stanky stank thing, Adana. That's a red flag. I'm redding you. You getting binged right there.
Oh gosh. Well then,
But that doesn't mean you get cut.
The flag colors are relative.
But that don't mean you get cut. It just means like, whoa, hey, you good? Is this what's happening? Is this a consistent thing? We need to talk about it. Do you do this often? Is this a thing that happens all the time? We need to talk because that's a red flag if it's all the time.
Gosh.
We get cut
My
if it's
cheeks
too
are
often.
hurting.
All right, you guys. Oh, snap. Artsy, you said, go ahead, babe, read that, John.
Thanks for answering my question. I've been really pondering about it. I haven't spoken to the guy yet because I'm trying to be observant first, and he hasn't approached me either. Is there more? Or that's it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, yeah. You know, I don't know if he's gonna approach you and be like, "Yo, I got a bunch of, I got a bunch of IG models that I follow, because I like their fits. Like, I don't like their outfits. Like, I don't think he's gonna approach you.
Is
but
that like a thing? You say fits for outfits?
people say fits for outfits, yeah. Oh my gosh. Anyways, but yeah, definitely stay observant.
All right, next tip, you guys. Here we go. We getting through these. Next tip. Do we agree with it or not? Tip to keep your relationship good and healthy. Tip next one says keep it sexy.
Nice.
Do you agree with that?
I mean, I agree. I think that you should always like sexy and just in general, like, you know, nice. Like, I think it's easy to become complacent.
We really got to talk about this one.
I think it's easy to become complacent in like your look and stuff. So I think it's important to make sure that you, like, when you guys are going out, even after you're like, you've gotten each other and you're dating and you've been there with each other strong, like, make sure that you look presentable, like you're a representation of your partner, you know, and so you want to look good, feel good for yourself and them. That's what I think.
So keep it sexy, right? What is sexy?
I mean, I think just looking nice,
Okay.
like fresh,
Okay.
like
Okay.
obviously, like, so we can translate sexy into, you know, like married, like bedroom stuff, and like you can translate it into
That's sex. Sexy is a different thing,
No,
babe.
you can keep it sexy in the bedroom too.
Okay, well you can,
Like,
you can.
So,
But that's-
anyways, but also I think, you know, obviously different people's definition of sexy is different.
You
So
know
like
what?
you
This
can
is-
have like a
this is
sexy
good.
outfit, like if you want something that's low cut,
This
maybe
is
that's what
good.
you're used to. But
This is good for us because this is something. This is like I said. Sometimes we gonna be talking about stuff and we gonna learn something for our relationship, right? So check this. I would say this: sexy needs to be defined by the other person as far as what that is, right? So
like
if
the person that you're supposed to be keeping it sexy for.
yeah, if it says keep it sexy, okay. Well, what's sexy to you? What's sexy to me, right? It's like I need to tell you what's sexy to me.
I was asking for what
So you
want.
can keep it sexy. And then same thing. She need to say, ask me. I mean, I need to tell her what she need to tell me what's sexy to her from
for
me.
you. Yeah.
And I need to keep it sexy. That's what I think. I think we've never really done that. We've never been like, hey,
Ooh, what do you find
sexy to you?
What
Like,
do I need to? Yeah,
we've never done that. So maybe we'll have that conversation.
Sure.
I know it's sexy to me.
Okay, okay.
I know some things.
Okay, great.
So next one. We agree. So yeah, we agree with that one. Keep it sexy. We agree with that one. But find out what's sexy to that person. Next one.
Get creative about the time you spend together.
Yeah, that just goes back to everything we talked about.
That.
So yeah, we agree with that. Of course, get creative about the time you spend together. And once again, if you're not a creative person, Google it.
Google it.
Figure it out. All right, next one. Says get it on.
Get it on.
How do you keep a good relationship and get it on? Yeah.
Physical. I mean, we're meant to be physical people. I think it is important to have that physical touch and experience.
Because if not, there's gonna be a lot more Instagram models
being followed.
Yeah, buddy. Matter of fact, let's pause that for a second. So, okay, we need to talk about this. So, and I'm asking you and I'm asking y'all, this is for the ladies, a question for girls, right? So we know, okay, the guy, oh, he's following Instagram models or Instagram girls because he finds them sexy and all that stuff. All right, cool. We get that. We get what dudes do. What is it that the girls are looking at? When the girls, there's no, is there Instagram guide things? If not, what is it
I'm
that,
sure there are.
What are y'all looking at that you shouldn't be looking at? We're not going to like porn and stuff, but just like, what are you looking at that you're like, that's taking you away from your partner mentally?
I mean, I think that there probably are like Instagram model men. But I think for females, what their attraction might be initially might be like, oh, this guy looks good, like he's cute or whatever the case may be. And then if you like go through and you see them in like nice outfits, like maybe like looking more dapper than anything, like I'm sure there might be some people that like the bodybuilder types, but if they're like in a nice suit, if they are like, what's the word I'm looking for? Successful, maybe that's what they kind of look at on Instagram and stuff. I mean, I'm not on Instagram like that. I'm not looking through.
Y'all go to CEOs.
Like to
Instagram
good-looking men. It's about good-looking men, I think. It's not necessarily like
in suits and ties and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I don't think it's more so like, oh, he needs to be half naked. But
I want to know who out there is listening to Donna and
I will show you.
Oh,
let me find somebody.
Yeah, no, we'll find what?
I don't know.
You find somebody. You know good one. You know exactly what you about to go to.
I do not.
I need to check your search. Talking about let me find somebody. Who the freak you pulling up? Let me look right now.
This. Wait a minute. Look. There go.
How is he popping right up on your
search. This is a search.
He popped up right on your search. Yeah, but this nigga with no shirt and abs for days popped up on your search.
Yeah, that's
back to him. I want to go back to who is this nigga?
That's Trey Songz. That's a celebrity.
Oh, so you following Trey?
I'm not following Trey Songz.
You be singing his songs?
I do sing, but I don't sing his songs. Mm-hmm. And I don't follow Trey Songz. But that's the thing. Like, I don't follow people like that. So like this is random. I don't know.
You ain't follow anyway.
I don't follow people like that on Instagram and stuff. But what I'm saying is that I think that you would look for
ladies, if you watch this, please help me out because Adana needs help too. I want to know what is it that y'all be looking at because we are what the dudes is looking at. What are y'all looking at? So I'm curious on that. Anyway, let's go. What we got here? We've got to cover you guys' comments. Top dog killer 81. Donna, did classmates did in your PA program?
And it's a date in my PA program. Yeah, I did have some classmates that dated each other and dated like people in the like classes above and below.
Is it weird to do that or nah?
I mean, I don't think so. I think it's just like dating somebody in undergrad. I don't think that it's weird. I think, you find somebody and y'all are both moving to that 6-figure salary job and career. Like you're planning. You can have a built-in study partner.
But it can get weird.
If it gets messy.
If it get messy, it can get weird as crap because I would assume, you tell me, PA classes, like once you get to PA school, your class is a pretty intimate class.
Yeah.
Like you're always with each other. You're always around each other. Like you're always studying together. You find groups and pockets of people you study with. Some of you got the same friends. So if you guys are dating in PA school and it don't work out, you got to go through the rest of the daggone PA school.
And you're there with them for the next like year and a half, year of schooling.
So if you date in PA school, hang tough till you graduate. Just fake that mess until you get that diploma, just so it's not crazy. All right. James said TikTok videos take away women's attention from their man.
Just random TikTok videos.
Yeah, I was honest with you. I'm just now getting on messing with TikTok. So that's a whole nother world I'm about to dive into. Arts, you said, Elo, I don't
willingly follow any attractive guys because I want to keep myself pure. If I happen to stumble upon a picture on what's FYP, I admire their looks, but don't know what their heart is like. Okay, see, I'm attractive guys. Like it's you, and that's just like what just happened. I opened up my Instagram and I stumbled upon a picture of some celebrity that was like and shirtless. That's just what it is. Like that's what happens. You tell me that all the time. Anthony will pull up his Facebook, and then across the top, it's a bunch of like Facebook models just popping up.
They're not.
And then he'll try to
They're not Facebook
He'll
models.
try to like click through.
They're regular people I know.
He'll try to click through, and then it's just another one popped up, and I'm like, oh, he's super dry. Oh no, this is not. And he'll like click, and I'm like, but it's still the same thing. So it happens like that.
Time out.
It is.
Without even getting into that, I just want to know. Archie said, but I don't know what their heart is like. So that's the thing. Like y'all be wondering what their hearts are like.
Some people do. I don't think most women are sitting up here wondering what the guy's heart is like. I think initially it is like a physical attraction.
The physical part of it.
And then then you're like, oh, okay, like is this person successful? And then you follow them for whatever reason that you want to see them in their pretty face or whatever the case may be.
Got you. All right, cool. Here we go. Let's keep going, you guys. Once again, we're rounding out this list. All right, we're almost done with this list. It says number 9.
Take a mental vacation every day.
Take a mental vacation every day. Again, these are tips on how to maintain a good and healthy relationship. We're determining if we agree with this tip or not. It says take a mental vacation every day.
Yeah. I mean, I think you take a mental vacation when you're like playing chess, right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
But is that for a relationship's sake? Is that just to get away?
It'll help your relationship. Maybe be for yourself, like individually you need to get away from the kids, from your spouse, from the whatever.
I mean, that's a physical. I need
everything in the house.
More than a mental, like for that.
Maybe that'll be the next one. But the question is, take a mental vacation every day. Do you agree with that?
I guess. I mean, like I'm looking for some hard, concrete things that will really help this relationship. I don't know if that
really help a relationship.
I don't know if that one like sticks, but
I think that sticks for people who it applies to, because there's people who need a mental vacation every day. You need a mental vacation because maybe things in your life right now is just really tough. Maybe you're going through some stuff in your kids or your spouse or just the house in general, or whatever the case is. Just taking care of yourself mentally will benefit your relationships. I agree with that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Next one. Take fight breaks when you need them. What does that even mean? Let me read what that one says. It says, when conflicts inevitably come up, remember to approach them thoughtfully and with a lot of kindness towards your partner and yourself. If you see the stress beginning to escalate during a conversation about conflict, one or both of you can call a break so that cooler heads can prevail.
Aunt hates that. Aunt cannot do that at all. Like he is not the type where it's like, okay, if he has something that he has to say or like something that is on his heart or on his mind at that moment in time, he can't like take a break until everything is.
If we're in an argument, I don't want to take a break. Like I want to get that mess done. Like I want to like I don't like this fully. I don't like this. Take fight breaks fully. I don't like the idea of stopping your argument. Let's take a break. Let's go to our corners. Let's take 30 minutes.
So do you have to say it like that?
That's how it is. That's what people be thinking. I can't.
We've been doing this like we do like a Tuesday like better communication relationship day, like where we delve into like our marriage and get better tips on how to like better our marriage and communication and such. And I think part of one of the things that we've learned and that I feel is kind of in conjunction with this is not necessarily arguing, but learning how to have disagreements. And so I feel like argument just has such a negative connotation to it. Like there's no winners in an argument. Like everybody's feelings are like heard, all emotions are high. But when you learn to disagree like effectively, I think that that is a better thing. And so with that being said, if you're just in a disagreement about something, I think it's easier to just be like, all right, like let's pause in a disagreement than if you're high and heated in an argument. So maybe that's what they're trying to convey.
No, they're saying to take a break. They're saying to stop the argument, go let cooler heads prevail and go take a break. Do you agree with that?
I mean,
do you want, if we're having an argument, do you want to stop and go take a break, or do you just want to work the argument out right there?
I mean, I think sometimes I do. Sometimes that it's like, for me, sometimes it's like, look, like we're not getting anywhere. Like we've had arguments where it's just super cyclic. Like we just go around in a circle. We come back to what the argument was. Sometimes we don't remember what we were arguing about in the first place because we've gone off on a tangent for so many like times. And it's like, okay, well, what was I saying? So yeah, I do think that it's important sometimes to be like, okay, like this is not getting us anywhere. This is not beneficial to our marriage, our relationship. Let's just pause for a second and then come back to this. Even if it's in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever time limit you want to give to it. You do that so that you can like reconvene and understand like, okay, well, what did I really initially have a problem with? And then go from there. I don't think it's hard. I don't think it's easy for some people to do, but I think that it can be necessary.
It depends on who you are in your relationship. All right, next one. We're almost done with this, you guys. When in conflict, dig deep to unearth your true feelings. I mean, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're in conflict. Dig deep to unearth your true feelings. So I think this one really applies to people who don't like conflict and like to try to steer clear of arguments and stuff. You know, there's certain people who just don't like, they can't take it. They don't want to argue. They don't want conflict. They'd rather just be like, okay, I'm gonna fight. Everything's fine. As opposed to digging deep to unearth their true feelings. Like, what do you really feel? What are you either hiding or trying to set aside or whatever the case is? And this is saying, no, don't do that. Talk about what the real issue or issues are when you're having that conflict. And I agree with that. I think you should definitely dig deep and really tell your true feelings about stuff. Even if those true feelings may hurt the other person, it's better to be honest and tell your true feelings about something than to just ride that surface thinking everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And it's not. So I agree with that. I agree with that. You agree with that? All right, boom. All right, here we go. 2 more, I think. Here we go. Seek to understand, not agree.
Yeah, we've heard that one. I think that that's important.
Recently, we've been talking about that.
I think it's important. A lot of times, you know, when you're getting into the arguments and stuff, it's about like who's right, who's wrong. And in that you're like, okay, well, I don't agree with you, or, you know, you disagree with whatever it is that person is saying. But I don't think that when you have like the conflict, it should be about, I agree or disagree with you. It should be about the understanding. Like you just want to understand where your partner or your spouse is coming from. And it's fine to disagree. And I think we should all be okay with that. I think that's another step, because sometimes like if you don't agree with something that I say or vice versa, like it makes us irritated because you want the other person to be on, like to realize that you're right. But it's not always about being right.
Yeah. And I would also say, just to piggyback off that, what we also learned was a lot of times in arguments, you're not just not seeking to understand something. A lot of times you're actually looking for a moment in that argument to disagree with. Almost, it's like you're waiting for that person to say something just so that you can come in with your own opinion or thought. You're not trying to understand them. You're just waiting for your moment to strike.
And it can be something so stupid and minuscule, like, oh, they may have said like, oh yeah, you said this on Tuesday, and then you come in and it's like, no, it was Wednesday.
Yep.
It's like,
nope, you're wrong.
That doesn't even.
You're wrong.
It doesn't even matter like what day it was. This is what you said, you know. So
we've done that many times. We've done that many times. You guys, if this is you, if we're talking about you, you're not alone. You know, we've done that many times, and many other people across the world. It's just human nature.
Yeah.
You know, it's just human nature. But once you understand it, you're able to begin working to fix it and to correct it. So, all right, we're going to read this last one here, and then we're going to address some of you guys' comments and questions, and then we're going to wrap it up, you guys. So here we go. The last one. It says, make your apology count. Let's talk about that for a second. Make your apology count. This is a tip. If you want a good and healthy relationship, it says, make your apology count. I would say this. This is my biggest thing about apologies. Never apologize if you're not sorry. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. Just apologize. Just let them just say, I'm sorry. That'll make everything better. They'll be fine. I'm not that person. I'm not a fan of that. I disagree with that. Never apologize if you're not sorry. Even if you feel that apology will just make things right. Like, I'll just apologize. I'm sorry. But you ain't really sorry? It's fake. And you're lying. You're sinner. You can't apologize if you're not sorry, even if you think it's gonna make things right, because it's just wrong. And so I'm about being real. I would rather have realness and honesty over fakeness, even if you feel it's gonna make me feel better. So, for my opinion, this is my opinion, you guys. If you're not sorry, then you need to talk out your issue, whatever it is that happened, right? Because you need to help. Even if the person that you have the issue with, that they feel you need to apologize to, even if they don't agree with why you feel with whatever your issue is as to why you're not sorry, even if they don't agree with it, at least you can be honest and have that communication about it. Like, this is where I come from. This is where I'm standing. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I believe that this is what I did was right. Whatever the case is, be honest about that and talk about that and let that person deal with how you're communicating.
Move forward, yeah.
But if you know you were wrong and you're sorry, apologize and make it count. Like, don't let your pride take over. If you know you were wrong, but your pride is like, I ain't apologizing, sure, whatever, but you were legitimately wrong and you do feel sorry about it, but your pride is you got a problem. You got to apologize. Because you are sorry and you were wrong, and you need to let the person know that. Because when you let a person know that you were sorry, I've learned this from Adana. If I let her know that I'm legitimately sorry, it takes a millisecond for her to change in that situation. Like, she will literally change from Freddy Krueger to freaking Angels in the Outfield. If I'm legitimately sorry for something and I apologize to her, she'll change quick. Because doesn't it feel good to know that, hey, he knows he was wrong.
Validation.
Yeah. So I feel like apologies are great as long as you mean it.
And I mean, I think it's important, like, in terms of making the apology count, to apologize in a way that your spouse understands. You know, like, I think that's something that I'm still learning how to do, and because, you know, the way he apologizes and the way that I apologize is like two completely different things. But you have to be able to speak in that person's love language. You know, like, you're super like grand and stuff. Like, it's all about like, oh,
it's because I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
When Adana apologizes, it's like a passing, fleeting moment of like, I really like. I'm sorry. Like,
it's not I'm sorry.
I don't
like,
feel
oh,
it.
babe, like, I'm legitimately.
It says
sorry.
Make your apology count.
Right.
Your stuff don't be making it count for me. Like, if she's sorry, but if she did something wrong, she want to apologize. I don't feel like she's genuinely sorry most of the time.
But I only apologize when I'm sorry. I don't apologize if I'm not sorry about something. And so again, it's about speaking your language, speaking a language that you understand.
I need you to bake a cake. I need you to stand on the top of a mountainside and scream into the top of your lungs.
Is that was the number 13?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
All right, you guys. So that's that. Let me just jump in to get some of you guys' comments and questions real quick. And then we'll wrap it up with you guys. So, bam, let's go right here. Archie, you said.
No, we already.
Oh, I'm sorry. James, question: how to start a relationship with someone who's a fellow Christian, but a different denomination, I'm assuming he says, and won't convert to your specific faith, like, for example, SDA. Got you. So, James, you want to know basically how do you start a relationship with someone who is a different denomination than you? Christian faith-wise, or even if it's not Christian, but specifically yours. Well, first of all, I would say, you said and won't convert to your specific faith. I would say this. Hopefully, you or nobody else would be looking to attempt to try to convert anybody to anything, right? Because it's not our job. It's not our job to convert anyone. It's not our job to convict anyone. It's God's. And God will convert them. God will convict them. All we can do is live that example and pray and be that person who is seeking that relationship with God for themselves. I would say this, though, man, about starting a relationship with someone. If you, and this is a personal thing, if you individually don't feel comfortable that you can have a relationship with someone who is of a different denomination or faith, don't do it. Don't fight that. Don't even fight that.
Or if that's what you desire, that's what you're looking for. If you want somebody to ultimately, because he's talking about specifically converting to your particular faith, but that, to me, that just shows the underlying desire that you want somebody that is in your faith. So if that's what you really want, then true. But at
the same time, I understand, okay, the idea of, okay, well, keeping your options open and keeping your mind open to this person, because we don't fall in love with people of this because they're part of this faith or because they dress this way. We fall in love with just that spirit of a person. Like, you just enjoy this person. Like, you love their laugh, you love their conversation, you just enjoy the person. And that person can be a totally different denomination or faith, but you develop an attraction toward this person. So that's normal and that's fine. The thing, though, for me is if within yourself you believe that you cannot be in a relationship with someone who is of a different denomination or faith, don't fight it. Just don't do it. You can't do it. The reason why I say that is because you can't force someone to change. So you'll get into it can end very bad, because you get into a relationship and maybe you have expectations that maybe they will change or convert, or maybe they'll have expectations of the opposite. It never happens. And now you guys are going through a life of just unequalness, when the Bible wants us to be equally yoked. Equally yoked doesn't always mean the same denomination. Equally yoked is just really about your level and relationship with God together. I personally believe that if you are not feeling within your spirit, if you're not convicted in your heart to do that, don't fight that. Just don't do it. Because if you fight it and say, I'm going to try to do a relationship anyway, you're going to hurt yourself in the future. In the short term, you'll be fine.
And I think it's important also just to, again, like, this goes back to communication, is having these conversations, like, before you really get deep into a relationship. When you're just getting to know the person, like, you talk about, like, oh, well, if you were to supposedly have kids and things like that, because all of, like, these, like, denominations, like, spiritual stuff, like, that kind of conversation makes a lot of sense when you have, like, a family, right? Like, how are you raising these kids? Are you going to have a problem if they go to church with me on this day and you don't want to go? Like, how will you feel about that? And once you have these conversations, then you can better make a decision, like, okay, can I really see myself building a life and a family with this person when we're just so far apart?
Yeah. So, and lastly, I would also say this. That doesn't mean that you can't have a relationship with them. A relationship meaning a friendship with them. Because the thing is like, you don't want to cut people out of your life, especially if you have a connection with someone and they're just a good person. You just enjoy their company. Like, you don't cut that person out of your life, even if they're part of a different denomination, whatever. You don't cut them out of your life. You just understand that you, at the moment, can't have any sort of intimate or couple relationship, because you guys are just on two different fields. And so you can't at the moment, but that doesn't mean things can't change. You just can't be the person to think that you can change them. You just have to let God work throughout your friendship and be patient with God and see what happens. My opinion. All right, last one here. Ashley, go ahead, babe.
Ashley says, worst piece of marriage advice ever given: don't go to sleep angry. I've been married for 20 years, and sometimes the best thing to do is get that sleep and then resume the discussion in the morning.
So this is another example of individual what works for individuals and individual couples. Because man, that ain't gonna fly with me.
We've done that before, though.
But that doesn't mean it was great.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean it was
That's
great.
just because you cannot. You're in the mode of I don't want to stop things.
Yeah, that's the thing, because I'm individually different than that. So don't go to sleep.
But I get it though. I think that it like
but
when
it's
you're
not
tired and you're just like, again, it's just about like this whole like cyclic thing. Like to me, I feel like when you're in an argument and you're just sitting up here, no one's listening. There's no understanding. You're just trying to disagree with each other. You're not really trying to have a discussion, but you're just trying to point out why you're right and the other person is wrong. That it's important to just, again, like stop. You know, so it could be very beneficial for some people to just be like, yo, like I gotta rest. Like we gotta pick this up in the morning or in 10 minutes or whatever the case may be. So
right. And also I would also say, Ashley, because I am a Christian, I would say it's not the worst marriage advice because it's biblical. Like it's a Bible verse. So for me personally, this is the verse. It says Ephesians 4 verse 6. 4 verse 26. It says, do not let the sun go down while you are still angry. I mean, if the Bible said, I think it's pretty good advice. Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry. And I think it's important because, I mean, for me personally, if the Bible's saying it, I believe it's because staying angry is actually a sin. Getting angry is not. Being angry is not wrong, but staying angry is wrong. And so I just think that it's encouraging us not to stay angry. And I think if we, take that throughout the night, it could be wrong.
And I think it goes back to my point about not having these arguments where it's a matter of like anger is the thing that's fueling it. It's a matter of like understanding and having discussions and disagreements, because if you can disagree with somebody and like sleep peacefully, right? You're not like sitting up here tossing and turning in your bed because you're angry at this person for whatever it is they said or they did to you. Yeah. And still, again, go back to that conversation later.
Yeah. Archie, you said, is it true that if a guy is really into you, he will approach? He's been staring at me for the past 2 months at church. Very outgoing around other people. Girls, but doesn't acknowledge that I exist. Isn't it true that if a guy's really into you, he will approach? No. I
don't think so. I think it's like a different breed of men out there as well. Like nowadays, like men are like the hot commodity. And so I think they've gotten used to like women who are interested in them approaching them as well. So it depends on the guy.
Yeah. I just want to emphasize the last part she said, which is it depends on the guy. Because there's just some guys who wouldn't do that. That doesn't mean they're not really into you. It just means that he's really into you, but he's not the type of guy that would approach you. And so that would be something that you would have to decide as a woman or individual. Is that the type of guy you like? Who wouldn't do that? Sometimes it's just a matter of making that initial connection, and then people are a lot more free and a lot more, more themselves. So no, I don't think it's true that he will approach you. If he's really into you, he might be really into you and not approach you.
Or he might not be really into you.
He might not be, but you don't know until there's just a connection made. That approach is just the initial contact, communication. Like a lot of people are also in a social media world, right? Because in social media, like it's just different, right? We're developing a different culture of how we can approach people, how we approach people. Because I'm assuming you're talking about approach physically at church, right? Because that's different than being on a computer and just typing something.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? But actually, at church, guys may have developed this different type of feeling of, I can easily type something, but approach them in person is a little weird for me.
I mean, okay, if you think that he's into you or he's been into you for the past 2 months and there's no connection that's been made, he hasn't approached you, then you go ahead and be like, hey, like,
well,
you,
here's the
I
real
think- I
question.
think you
The
should-
real
you
question
should
is,
reach out.
the real question is, are you into him?
Okay, yeah.
Because
She is. He's very outgoing. Like please, she's into him. So you can go ahead and just be like, hey, you know, like whatever. I don't know what your initial like meet cute thing will be, but whatever it is, you can go and introduce yourself and try to strike up a conversation and go from there.
and that kind of goes against your personality too. Are you that person that would approach
Do that.
them? Like, are you an approachable person? There's a lot of females who are just friendly people. Hey, how are you doing? Especially in a church setup.
And church,
A church
oh, you looking for a
situation.
seat?
Hey.
There's one right over there.
No, there's one right here.
There's one right here.
right here. No, but you
That's
can
a different kind of bold.
That's
but-
you can literally just introduce yourself. Hey, I've seen you around church. How you doing? My name is Artsy. What's your name? Oh, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. How long you been coming here? You know, that type of thing. If it's that new of a situation or whatever your strike up conversation is, I don't think in 2021 it's wrong for a female to approach a
Yeah.
guy. It's
That's
totally fine
quite
in a friend
general.
because everything is a friendship level. Just be a little cautious because guys can tend to think that girl, whether you're into him or not, they're gonna automatically think potentially that, depending on how you approach him. So it's just making sure you're not approaching him in a flirty way, just in a church, how are you doing friend way. You know, if you can approach him the same way you would approach the old lady that's in the corner, you're good. You're good. All right, here we go. Ashley, you said thanks for the video. You're awesome. Adana, yes, but I understand your point. And okay, I forgot what conversation that was.
It
But
was the angry one. Going to bed angry.
got you. All right, you guys, man, we appreciate you guys. This was fun.
Yeah, we should do this more often. Yeah, I've been trying to get Aunt to like do a video with me for like 3 years now.
3 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It ain't been that
It's been a
long.
while.
Anyway,
And he hasn't.
she's talking about for those who are watching on Donna's YouTube page. She's talking about Donna the PA's channel. Oh, by the way, if you are watching on Donna the PA, and if you're not watching from Adana PA, but you're watching on Facebook,
Go right
go ahead and
now.
subscribe to Adana the
Subscribe.
PA's YouTube channel. Great
Share,
channel.
like.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys, man. If you want to see some more interesting relationship stuff, let us know. We'll consider doing this more often. And
where
that's
else
it.
is this shared?
Um,
Sunset Friday. If you're watching on Donna the PA channel, go on over to Sunset Friday on YouTube and subscrib. You know,
please do, you
yeah, it
guys.
has some really good videos over there.
Actually,
for y'all.
don't even subscribe over there,
What?
you guys, because I gotta.
Oh my gosh!
I'm in the
You're not
process.
gonna like that channel's not.
I'm
going
in the
anywhere.
process of figuring out what I'm gonna do
But it's not going anywhere. So
with
you
that
can still
channel.
subscribe.
So just hold on, just
Oh
hang
my
tough. I don't want you to
gosh.
subscribe unless you really have something to subscribe to. And if I'm not uploading, I ain't like I said, I'm real. I'll keep it real with you guys. Don't subscribe until I get it going. Once you see it get it going, you can be like, okay, he said when it get going, I'm gonna subscribe. Now you know. Anyway.
Oh gosh.
All right, guys, we appreciate you guys, man. We out of here. Y'all be blessed. We'll just end with a quick little prayer with you guys. Lord, just bless everyone watching. Bless all the relationships. May they be encouraged.
Yes,
May they
Lord.
be strengthened. And may you get the glory out of all of it. We love you. Just let me pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, guys, we out of here.
Bye.
Peace.